weekend and the weekend after. Head to pdc.tv and find all the details of how to subscribe. Other passes available too for those of you who want to watch all season long, and why not, with 30 Players Championship events and 13 Euro Tour events, plus many more added extras. Head over to the website at the conclusion of this match and find out all the details there, pdc.tv. Right now, sit back and enjoy Michael van Gerwen, a sporting phenomenon in action. And he's been producing some very MVG-esque stuff from himself this afternoon. A 10-darter, finished on double one in the previous match. Also 170 checkouts. He's not one of the men in the 9-dart club yet this weekend. We've had 4 perfect legs in Barnsley so far. There we got a close-up of the new darts that Michael van Gerwen is famously throwing in 2020, having switched manufacturer.
127.
At the turn of the year.
Game shot.
And as quick as that, he turns the first leg around in his favour, gets it in the ledger. And the task has become much harder, much more difficult for Jamie Hughes already.
60. $117.
An immediate break of throw.
145.
For the premier player in World Darts, despite not holding the World Champion title right now, he is
96.
By some distance still the world number 1.
58. $140.
Did produce a perfect leg himself against this opponent on last year's Players' Championship. But Hughes is well placed to break back immediately here.
$92.
You can rest assured that MVG will apply the maximum amount of pressure.
177.
He's done that with a 177 to leave double 10.
Game shot.
But Hughes pops tops and levels up the tie, cancelling out that break crucially.
$60.
Van Gerwen has bumped into Jamie Hughes a couple of times, and
41.
One of them was a very high-profile match. Who can forget it at the World Grand Prix when MVG was under pressure and pulled out a huge checkout to turn the tide in that match.
96.
Before going on to lift the title, beating Dave Chisnell in the final.
40.
Also won the Players' Championship finals before those defeats at the World Championship and the Masters. He may well end up being the master here in Barnsley this afternoon. Gary Anderson took the crown yesterday, for those who weren't watching. Return to winning ways for him after a injury-ravaged 2019, which the Flying Scotsman, well, in his own words, wrote off.
140.
Well, this man never writes anything off. A will to win like you would not believe.
84.
Jamie Hughes' favourite to take this leg and take the lead.
Game shot.
Tops popped again. And Jamie Hughes has the lead.
44.
The other matches in the last 16 underway between James Wade and Gabriel Clements, Peter Wright and Jose de Sousa. Nathan Aspinall awaiting the identity of his last 16 opponent after beating Keegan Brown here on stream 1 a few moments ago. It will either be Dave Chisnell or Jason Lowe. Scott Waits is facing off against Ross Smith after Waits defeated Ian White 6-3 despite 106 average from Diamond White. Matches in progress too between Dirk van Dijvenbode and yesterday's finalist Jeff Smith, whose dream start to life on the tour continues. Gerwin Price playing Michael Smith and Mickey Mansell up against Kirk Shepherd. That's the state of play in the last 16.
46.
Michael van Gerwen not happy with his state of play, or the state of his play in this leg.
133.
A neat and tidy shot from Jamie Hughes leaves him on 132.
$59.
And again, he can only tidy up.
$137.
Van Gerwen leaving it handy just in case. The first start that Hughes has missed at that target, followed swiftly by the second.
Game shot.
But he redeems himself on double 10. Michael van Gerwen up against it here because Jamie Hughes has just broken through again and right now is holding all the aces.
93. $134.
Hughes has only dropped 6 legs so far this afternoon, including the first one in this match. He enjoyed a 6-2 win against Robert Thornton and averaged 104 in his opener before beating Barry Bates by the same margin and then denying MVG, the world number 1, a meeting with the Dutch number 2
57.
and his World Cup teammate of last year, Jermaine Watermaner, as Hughes dismantled him 6-1. Van Gerwen beat Harry Ward 6-3.
180.
Mike de Decker 6-4 and then Ryan Searle 6-2, but Jamie Hughes is making him work very, very hard here. And at the moment, MVG powerless to stop him. He needed that treble to
77.
earn himself a dart at double. The last dart was a flyer. Van Gerwen is not going to clinch his second big fish finish of the afternoon, not right now anyway. And he might be running out of legs to do it because Jamie Hughes needs double 10 again. Well, he's finding it difficult, isn't he?
Game shot.
But somehow finds a way through the barricades. And puts himself 2 legs away from a first career victory against the mighty Michael van Gerwen.
100.
The headline writers will be starting to insert the word crisis once again. Michael van Gerwen told Sky after the Premier League win against Peter Wright that in Holland, he loses one match and it's a crisis in the media.
180.
But he's given himself 3 months to get used to his new setup. A long-term plan, as he called it. A very insightful interview on stage afterwards, it has to be said. And there are different approaches to these Pro Tour events. Van Gerwen, of course, wants to win every match, every leg that he plays, but very much an observer of the bigger picture.
134.
And we can never, at any stage of any match, write off a man of
94.
the means of MVG. Double 10 will keep it going.
Game shot.
I just feel this is a big, big leg for Jamie Hughes. Doesn't want to start it with a trebleless turn,
58.
and that's exactly what's happened.
$100.
If you are watching on Stream 1 and PDC TV, there may well be
81.
quite a delay between the end of this match and the start of the quarter-final tie. That's because the matches between Scott Waits and Ross Smith and Jeff Smith and Dirk van Dijvenbode are just getting underway, and we will have the winners of those ties here. Feel free to switch over to Stream 2, one of the benefits of subscription. In the meantime, where Peter Wright is just beginning his last 16 clash with Portugal's Jose de Sousa.
134.
Jamie Hughes should be looking down at the 19 segment here. Well, he was, but not with any success. Now needs 2 trebles.
141.
And gets them. But he's not left to finish. Van Gerwen was threatening to take a big one out. Jamie Hughes is not on an out shot. All he can do is try and leave it on a single darter.
130.
That will do that. Another there. Leaves double top.
32.
Well, it was a big leg.
Game shot.
And the big leg is won by Jamie Hughes. Michael van Gerwen now has to reel off 4 on the spin.
140.
The missed start, a double top to break and reduce the arrears to a single leg. Van Gerwen, had he hit that tops, would have now been throwing to tie this up at 4 apiece. That's how crucial those 2 darts could be in this match. The one missed at tops by MVG, the one hit in double 16 by Hughes.
$54. $125.
Well, an unfortunate deflection there for Jamie Hughes, just allowing Michael van Gerwen to at least breathe a little easier for the remainder of this leg, although he would have liked to have been on a 2-darter.
60.
Took out this particular checkout twice on Thursday night, 2 different ways. Well, I'm not sure about that way, Michael.
38.
Not sure what he was going for at all there, Michael van Gerwen. Jamie Hughes doesn't get a match start, not in this visit. Just the wrong side of the wire, but Van Gerwen only managed to muster up 38 in the previous visit with the mad attempt at, I presume, the bullseye
42.
at the beginning of it. Now he wants 68. Now he wants 8.
60.
And now, barring a disaster, he's handed a match point to Jamie Hughes. 2 match points.
66.
And 2 match darts have gone begging for the Midlands man, and Van Gerwen offers no further crumbs in that leg, but Jamie Hughes will be expecting more. His throw now.
87.
And even if he loses this leg, he will have the throw in a decider, provided that Van Gerwen holds.
180.
And he might well lose the leg because MVG has rattled in a maximum to kick off. Only his first of the match, his 9th of the afternoon.
95. 139.
Well, he switched because he didn't think he could get another one in there. But he proved that he could. And his last match against Ryan Searle, Michael Van Gerwen had a 10-darter that he finished on double one, hitting a 180 from 182. He's not going to do that this time, but I wouldn't have been surprised if he'd attempted it. The door may be unlocked, if not ajar, for Jamie Hughes.
59.
Forgotten his keys, I think. 2 tops. There's one.
Game shot.
And the other one is a bedfellow for Michael Van Gerwen, who closes a gap. And it is MVG to throw first. Jamie Hughes nor Michael Van Gerwen seemed very aware of that fact.
57.
Now Hughes needs to jump all over this. Remarkable win he had in Prague last year, the Czech Darts Open. That secured his spot in the World Match Play. And just about everything else, the World Grand Prix, where he lost out to Michael Van Gerwen. Had a difficult end to the year. Jamie Hughes suffered some injury problems.
45.
And it culminated in defeat to Zoran Lurchbacher in the first round at Alexandra Palace at the World Championship.
180.
Michael Van Gerwen is flexing his muscles now. 10 maximums for the afternoon.
95.
Has he found a way around that?
58.
No, he hadn't, but he has got time on his side and has somehow managed to fight his way back from 5-2 down here
84.
to be on the brink of levelling up this tie at 5 apiece.
32.
Well, the miss didn't matter because Jamie Hughes has effectively had a leg off and will be saving his energy for the last one,
125.
in which he will throw first.
Game shot.
And Michael Van Gerwen has produced a comeback twice in this match. He's trailed by 3 legs, but has just won 3 on the spin.
45.
He wasn't looking, but he would have heard Michael Van Gerwen the call of 45. And his eyes would have lit up.
93.
Well, that's a let-off for Jamie Hughes. It could have been much, much worse after that scrappy opening.
60.
And you just wonder, had this been any other player, whether Jamie Hughes would be
58.
thinking and feeling a little bit differently. Hasn't managed to find a big treble yet. He does. 7 darts into the leg. Dart number 8 follows it.
140.
That's better. Van Gerwen seemingly feeling the tension
96.
too, just keeping his nose in front, but Hughes effectively has the darts back. And that will help his cause.
100.
Perfectly poised now, this match. Hughes first to a finish. Van Gerwen needs to find a treble to leave himself on 1.
96.
That's all he can manage, and he's 2 points behind, but Hughes first to the hockey and first to the finish. And he could win it in style.
138.
Did he just rush the last dart ever so slightly? Wasn't far away, but Michael van Gerwen is not going to punish.
96.
Having missed now 3 darts for the match, Jamie Hughes is splitting this. Sensible stuff. And surely he can use that.
Game
And
shot
Jamie
number
Hughes
80.
finally gets over the